Hello everyone, this is HGSKaska here, back with some more daily questing action on Hearthstone. Now, the whole point of daily quest is to try and complete the daily quest in the most ridiculous and obnoxious ways that I can come up with. Now, today I did have to complete 2 wins as either Paladin or Priest, but considering that I did do Priest very recently, I did decide to go ahead and queue up and make my custom Paladin deck. Now, this is not my Stealthy Poo deck, which was a big hit. This is actually a deck which is all taunt minions. Now, this is literally a deck that every time you play it, you want to punch yourself in the face because it is so freaking bad. Now, the thing about taunt minions is that if your entire deck is taunt minions, your entire deck is basically worse than a randomized deck. Why do I say that? Because the stat of taunt, when a card has taunt, that takes up part of the card value. And taunt is one of the worst card values in the game if you just only have taunt creatures. So it's basically like having high cost creatures that aren't doing anything because nothing is being protected by the taunt other than my face. And normally you're going to be protecting minions and all of that. So I will be absolutely honest, with this deck, I have lost probably about 90% of my games, and I'm actually casting these games after they were played just because the deck is so bad that if you heard me casting it live, I would just be raging so hard. I would be throwing things. I'd be very upset with my life. I'd be very upset with myself. But either way, I was going to play it out until it actually worked. It was a big waste of time, but I figured, you know what? I at least have to document my adventure and tell you kind of my thoughts about an all-taunt deck. Now, my thoughts are, number one, that's bad. My continued thoughts are, definitely don't try this at home, folks. And also, one thing I want to mention is that literally, if I'm doing my math right, there is the exact amount of cards in Hearthstone to make a full taunt deck that you need. So I'm not able to fill it with any spells. I'm not able to fill it with any weapons. And the only card I have in this entire deck that is not a taunt minion itself is Hogger. And for those of you who don't know, Hogger summons 2/2 taunt minions. So that is the only card that I fit in my deck that does not directly have taunt. But seriously, I have... It was funny when I was making the deck. I was just going through, you know, I typed in the word taunt and all of that. And as soon as I filled up the deck, there was one spot left for a non-taunt minion, and then I went ahead and put Hogger in there. But definitely do not try this at home, kids. I highly do not recommend it, and you'll kind of see as this game progresses, it is like the most boring playstyle ever. And you know, I do have a little bit of shame for actually uploading this video, but at the same time, has anyone ever made an all-taunt deck before? That remains to be seen. I don't think they have. I really don't think that people have actually done that. At least I haven't seen one. He is going to go ahead and fan of knives here. I think he's trying to get out some cards. Now, I will say this deck is good against a couple different things. Or I wouldn't say good, but is passable. Rogues are one of them because the rogues... they rely on weapons quite heavily. So the more taunt minions you have, that is the more face rolling they are doing into your minions as opposed to your character. And so if you're able to get the ball rolling on the taunt minions and they're forced to use their weapons to kill off the taunt minions, and that's kind of a good situation, which is really kind of my strategy going into versus this rogue. What the taunt minion deck is bad against is basically any sort of aggro deck, which there's a lot of aggro decks. I would say aggro decks are more common than mid and late game decks. It's also bad versus spells. It's also bad versus basically anything, because basically what happens the majority of the time is your opponent gets to decide which unit they attack, because normally taunt minions are to try and force them to attack your one minion, but when all of your minions are taunt minions, then they get to choose which one they want to attack. However, I am in a pretty good spot right now, as I got my little Sunwalker out there, and also my my cute little goblin there. He still has 5 attacks, so there's really no way for him to easily get rid of it unless he fan of knives again. But even then, he's only, actually, he went ahead and did Shiv. Alright, he decides to Shiv off the, okay, the next spell you cast this turn costs 3 less. And which one is it going to be? It's going to be Fan of Knives, which does kill off my guys there, or I guess just the little goblin. And how many spells is this guy using? He throws out the Sinjin Shield Master as well. I'm actually going to have a hard time killing this off. Now, one thing I also learned in making this deck is that taunt minions there's not a whole lot to choose from. Now, obviously, a lot of decks do, you know, kind of revolve around having a few taunt minions in your deck. But when you're trying to make an all-taunt minion deck, you start to realize there's the 0-4 taunt minion. There's the 1-7 taunt minion. There's the 1-2. There's really not a lot of low-cost cards that are actually decent. I mean, Sinjin Shieldmaster is okay. There's going to be Backstab, 2 damage to an undamaged minion. All right, so he's going to go ahead and do that. But I am actually going to get some decent damage on the board here, and I'm also going to be killing his Sinjin Shieldmaster, which is actually what he should do here is kill off. He should kill my Footman. My 1-2 there, and then I'm forced to kill it with. Well, no, because I could kill him with the Sunwalker without losing that. So I guess killing the big guy with taunt there is the way to go. The Lord of the Arena. But honestly, guys, if you have any ideas for basically gimmicky decks that I can do for my daily quest, I actually really enjoy doing it. So definitely send those ideas my way, as it's kind of difficult to come up with silly decks. I mean, originally I did have my Murloc deck, which that apparently became a thing shortly thereafter. I do have my Pirate deck, my all weapons warrior deck as well. And I do have a mage deck that is all spells. That one's pretty fun. No minions except for like the mana worm and stuff like that. Stuff that really revolves around having spells. And I'm trying to think of what other silly decks I actually have. I have an all overload deck. That's fun. I have every single overload card in the game, which for Shaman is pretty fun. And when I was showing it to my friends, he's like, so you have a standard Shaman deck is what you're saying. And I'm like, no, it's all overload. He's like, so it's a Shaman, it's a standard Shaman deck. But we should be able to go ahead and keep on sweeping on through. And he did actually buff that guy up quite a bit. I'm not sure if that was the right choice or not, but I'm trying to think here. I feel like ideally I just want to be killing minions. As long as I'm keeping the board control here, I'm not too worried, because like if this was a mage, for example, it may just be best to try and rush them down in the face. But since it is a rogue, they don't really have a whole lot of board clear. And you can see right there, Assassin's Blade. That is normally an extremely good weapon, but now this character either has to use it on a minion that has really no purpose in that 0-2, or take a lot of damage to the face. Acidic Swamp Ooze, that's a waste because I don't have any weapons in this deck, which normally that would be a threat to Paladins, but definitely not today. That 3-2 there has to decide what to go for. I would say the best bet's probably the 4-1. I think that one's kind of the no-brainer right here, as it's not going to be able to kill the Lord of the Arena just yet. Or could poke down with weapon. Okay, I think that's exactly what Elquinus is going to go ahead and go for my Lord of the Arena. But that's 6 damage to her face, which I am more than happy with, because at this point in the game, oh, Abomination. God, the Abomination. This card is so bad with this deck because all I rely on is minions, and so having the Abomination out is, for the most part, just an absolute disaster. And I'm wondering, I think I'm just going to go straight for the face at this point, because remember, the rogues don't really have a whole lot of ways to slow down the amount of taunts that you actually have on the field. So this is the one class that this deck may actually work against. But again, I can't help but emphasize, do not try this at home. Oh god, actually the Stormwind Champion there, going to be buffing up the Acidic Swamp Ooze to 4 damage, can easily kill off my 5-4, which I'm kind of bummed about, because I really have no way of killing that Stormwind Champion, especially if he uses his dagger to kill off one of my minions, which I do have 4, 5, 6 damage on the board, but at the same time, she can get rid of my my better units there. I mean, the one that has 4 damage only has 1 HP, so not too good there. Yeah, I think that's honestly the right choice, even though it's going to bring her down to 12 HP. I essentially have no damage on the board. Oh god, Shield Bearer. Why are you so bad in this deck? Because I can't buff you at all, that's why. And really, Shield Bearer doesn't actually do anything. So I'm trying to think, do I throw out the A-bomb and try and bait him into killing it? Or do I just go straight for the face since he's so low anyways? If he does kill the A-bomb, then that does put me in a pretty tight spot. Because think about this, if the A-bomb dies, which it probably will this turn, then that's 2 damage to all of my minions, which kills everything except for my 1-7. However, it would also kill his Stormwind Champion. And he has no way of killing the A-bomb without attacking with the Stormwind Champion, unless he has some sort of spell in his hand. But he has already used quite a few of those. Boulder Fist Ogre comes out. Chillwind Yeti comes out as well. So he has got to do something. I think he may have played this in the wrong order. I think he has to kill my Abomination. Otherwise, it's going to swing in for 4. Yeah, he definitely played that in the wrong order. That's going to damage everybody. Which isn't the worst thing for him, because he did have the buffs there, so it doesn't damage it down that much. But right now, oh, he actually decided to go ahead and do that. That was not an intelligent maneuver. Oh, another A-bomb. Hello. All right, so the Abomination right now, if I throw that down, he's going to have to kill it. Otherwise, he's basically dead. But if he does kill it, then he's going to take 2 damage there. So that's going to bring him down to 4. But then also, I currently have no follow-up on how to deal with everything that I'm currently facing right now. As, let's see, if he swings and kills the A-bomb, it's going to be 2 damage. So the A-bomb is going to kill whatever attacks it, which it should be the Chillwind Yeti. Should be the Chillwind Yeti. You don't want to do that. Well, I'm getting pretty lucky. This guy's actually making some pretty bad plays here. He should have swung in with the Chillwind Yeti, kept his Ogre Boulder Fist guy alive. But now he's just got the Chillwind Yeti just kind of chilling out. Aha, pardon the pun. Ayo! As it does look like that. Oh, God, he's got another Assassin's Blade. So he does have enough damage on the board. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. He can technically kill me in like 4 or 5 turns. I did get my Fin Creeper, though, and this is actually really good for me now, because all of a sudden that Chillwind Yeti cannot kill the Fin Creeper. The Fin Creeper can kill the Chillwind Yeti. If he swings in to poke that down, then he's going to die. Oh, my God, I think I actually win. Do I actually win right here? Unless he has an awesome card here to keep him in the game just a little bit longer. We are about to see a victor. Oh, assassinate. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. I thought I was going to win here, but apparently not quite yet. As that Chillwind Yeti, man, giving me a hell of a time. And deal 2 damage to an undamaged mini. He's going all out. That was his last card, though. So I still have a little bit of HP. If I can get a big taunt minion, then I can try and swing in with what I got. And all right. All right, the Warden got to keep you alive just a little bit longer. And remember, that is 7 HP. So even though it's not enough to kill her next turn, it is enough to prevent dying. And let's see, if she swings in for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, she's still going to take 1 damage. And I'll be able to kill. Oh, assassinate again. Oh, man, this is not very fortuitous for me here, as I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any more damage. Assassin's Blade coming on up in the face. So basically, I've been top decking here for quite some time, and oh God. All right, hello, baby. And guess what? He just wasted both of his assassinates. So good old Tyrion, man. If he dies, then I get the sword to swing in for the kill, which I'm not sure if that's actually going to play a role here, unless he... Oh, another Chillwind Yeti. Sorry, buddy, but that is not enough today. You are going to face the might of my legendary taunt creature, and that is pretty much it, because I don't think that he can actually die, so I should be able to swing in here for the kill. And there's the GG, as I am able to win with this deck. Now, keep in mind that I did need to get 2 wins, so I have another game coming up right after this one. But I do want to mention that I'm really uploading this just because of the pain that I had to suffer to make it. So if you don't like this video, just know that much pain and suffering went into its creation. So it's more of it was more of those goals where I'm like, okay, so I've been playing for like 2 hours. I haven't won a single game yet, but I've set my mind to it, and there's no going back at this point. So we're going to go ahead and face off against a priest. Good old Anduin Rin. And Get Real Kid is apparently his name. Now, I did lose several games between the last game and this one. I'm trying to think of what cards I should keep. Probably not the Sunwalker, because I have so many high-cost cards. I also want to mention that the mana curve on a deck where you only have taunt minions is, like, atrocious. It is so bad, because most of the taunt minions are high-cost overall, and you basically have no units that give you momentum in the early game, so you just have to really hope for terrible hands for your opponent, terrible plays, or a big misread. Now, I do have the Shield Bearer or the Footman. I think going for the Footman is the correct choice here, as a Shield Bearer is not really going to be protecting anything. And then if the Footman survives, then I can throw down the Shield Bearer. That's going to be slowly plinking down little bits of damage. And there we go. Go ahead and toss him out there. He is leading the charge when it comes to taunt minions. And let's see what's he got. Mind Vision. All right, this guy's gonna be sad when he gets a taunt minion, unless he got the Shield Master. That Shield Master is actually a really, really good card. The other 2 guys, not so much. Well, for Priest, actually, the Shield Bearer can be really good. I'm not sure if he took that one from me or not. He does have a gold Shield Bearer, though. Dread Corsair. Now, Dread Corsair is an absolute awful card in an all taunt minion deck, because he basically has a lower cost based on your weapon, but I have no weapons in my deck, so he's now a higher cost 3/3 taunt minion, which doesn't really do anybody any good. Oh, guys, he's got the Light Well. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to get rid of that at this point. But Shield Bearer comes up, and you know what's going to be annoying, because that Light Well is actually going to keep healing that Shield Bearer, now that I just thought about this, as, yep, it heals it right back up. Now, remember that with the Light Well, it targets a damaged friendly character. So if you are only damaging one character, it's always going to be healing that one up. So he does get one heal so far from the light wall. We'll see if this continues to be an issue or not as the game does progress. I do have the shield master now, which is always a good one. Way better than the Dread Corsair, which still cannot actually kill that stupid thing, as it does get healed back up once again. And he's just like, trollolol. I'm not actually sure if that's the one that he stole from me or not, but it is kind of hilarious to see it be utilized that often. Shadow Word Pain coming up. Destroy mania with 3 or less attack. That is a great use of that card. To be completely honest, that card is so good. Power Word Shield. Give a minion +2 health and draw a card. He's got to try and keep it alive and keep the dream alive, really, because remember that there's a lot of buffs that you can give as a priest to make that unit better and better and better. And overall, it's 4 stats for only 1 mana. So if you're able to use that, hang on, sorry, my mic's freaking out. There we go. All right, now we're back in it. Once again, it's got to heal it back up, and I think I have enough damage on the board now to be able to kill it, unless he has like a Holy Nova or something like that, which I assume is actually going to happen. As he does have the mana to do it now, and no, decides to Power Word Shield once again. Give a minion +2 health and draw a card for only 1 mana. Now he's at 8 HP and still getting healed there. So it's basically like he's at 8, 9, 10, 11. Essentially 11 HP if I don't kill it. But 8, 1, 2, 3. I still can't kill it. 3, 4, 5, 6. I can only do 6 damage to it. Now this time it will not be healed fully by the light well, but still doing whatever I can to bring it down. Now it is of course going to bring that one up to 5. He could heal it again with his hero ability if he would like to do that. But for now, that Shield Bearer kind of annoying. And really what the Shield Bearer is doing is making me burn through all of my cards. This Shield Bearer is going like 1 and 5 as how cost efficient he's actually being right now. As I only have 4 cards in my deck, and my opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in his hand. So way more than me, more than double. I guess exactly double here. And especially if he doesn't play anything, he is going to have more than double after the next turn. However, I should be able to gain control of an enemy minion with 3 or less attack until the end of turn. All right, so you grab that to swing that in. I don't know that that was the correct choice, because all he did was use that to get rid of Divine Shield, and then I just get him right back. Okay, I mean, I guess it is at 1 HP now, but still, that was kind of a weird choice, but I will take it. And let's go ahead and get Lord of the Arena. I mean, look at the board right now. I've got 4 minions with taunt with another one coming on up. I should be able to finally kill that Shield Bearer. You have Lord of the Arena as well. Go ahead and swing on in. Swing on in. And now actually what I think I should do here is if I split my DPS. Oh, I'm just thinking this a little bit too late. What I should have done is split my DPS. Because then one... whether it's his own HP or whether it's going to be the light well, they will be down by 1 or 2 HP if you do split that DPS. So that's something that I should have done there. And Shadow Word Death Destroy minimum of 5 or more attack. I mean, really, when you're playing my deck, you can't really play around spells. You just kind of have to play it all out and hope that nothing bad happens. All right, deal 2 damage there. Oh, that wasn't very nice. And another Shield Bearer comes up. That must be the one that he stole from me, I feel like. Unless he just happens to have a lot of Shield Bearers as well. Then we just have Shield Bearers going on all day. Fin Creeper coming up. And 1 and 4. Again, what is it with these taunt minions? They are so bad when it's just a whole army of Shield Bearers, that's for sure. All right, so that goes ahead and goes down. And yeah, let's go ahead and split the DPS. You'll see what I mean. Once this thing tries to heal, it can only heal 1 of the 2, and it heals himself, leaving Get Real Kid at a deficit of 2 HP. Maybe saying, well, Husky can just heal himself with his hero ability. That is true, but then remember, he only has 6 mana to spend. So it does keep my board presence alive and keeps the dream alive, really. Not that with Shield and Taunt minions that there really is a dream. God, he's got a Sunwalker as well. He must be stealing all sorts of cards. So he did go ahead and use that. That was actually a really, really, really good turn for him. I think what I can do is actually swing in with this guy, and then I could swing in with the 1/1, and then kill it off with my 4/5, and then he's still going to be alive, and I can swing in for 4 or 5 damage overall. Or I could use the Fin Creeper, and then my 1/2. No, 1/2 there. Okay, almost made that. That was almost a super noob mistake. And then go ahead and kill off his light well there. Okay, that's a pretty good decision. I'm feeling okay with that. And what I can also do here is, yep, throw out that guy. Throw out the horrible Dread Corsair. And it's like, yeah, he's a golden card, but in this situation, he is, like, so bad. He is so bad. He's not Corsairing anything, as he is one of the most inefficiently priced cards. Copy 2 cards from your opponent's deck and put them in your hand. He's basically probably thinking, oh, great, I got 2 more taunt minions, because every card in my deck is a taunt minion. which is pretty awesome. Haven't really seen Hogger play much of a role in these games. All right, there's going to be Holy Nova. Did get rid of one of mine. If he Holy Novas again, that's going to be really bad. There's Tyrion Ford Ring again. And I can also summon my one little guy. And I can finally swing in for some decent damage, bringing him down to 19 in one turn here as Tyrion, he's hanging out. I don't know if this opponent's going to have a way of dealing with this. I really hope he doesn't have mind control. Again, with this deck, you can't really play around abilities. You just have to go for it. That is my attitude, and I'm sticking to it. But Tyrion Ford Ring, if he gets mind control, that could be quite a problem. Holy Nova comes up, actually axes out a lot of my stuff here. And he could heal himself if he wants to. Decides to go for the Booty Bay Bodyguard. And that's only going to be preventing 4 damage from hitting him, as I can just swing in with that. Or I could actually swing it with my Tyrion just to try and get the weapon a little bit sooner. Keep that extra 4 damage on the board for just 1 or 2 more turns, which might actually be the best bet. And not throw out my A-bomb just yet. Maybe go for the other 2 guys, since I can afford both of them. Not that they really do anything for me, but if I do get his weapon out, that is a lot of damage on that bad boy. That is a lot of damage. I think that's actually the correct choice. I'm going to go with that. Normally, I wouldn't do this, but given my weird deck and the fact that I somehow have a little bit of momentum means that I might even throw out the Abomination. I guess, though, going for these guys is the correct choice. Just playing it safe. I have so much HP on the field now, and he is at 14 HP. So he has got to figure something out, because I have 6, 7, 8, 9... 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage on the board. So even if he heals himself, okay, so now he's going to reduce 3 of that incoming damage. So that is okay. Temple Enforcer gives friendly minion plus 3 health. So now he's going to be able to prevent 6 of that damage. And the Northshire Cleric, which is such an annoying card, but at this stage of the game, it's not really that good. At least I feel like it's not that good. So let's see here. Trying to think of exactly what I should do. I could swing in with Tyrion, and then if I do, I'm going to get the sword here. Oh my god, I think I actually have lethal right now. Oh my god, did I get the dream? Is the dream alive? Yes, it is. Exactly the amount of damage I needed there. Slap him in the face, and the double taunt minion games. Oh god, you guys have no idea how long it took to make these. You know what? Maybe not my best video. That's okay, because it took like 3 hours to get these 2 wins. I do actually feel a little bit bad for these players. But overall, all taunts is... I'm going to go delete this thing right now, because seriously, screw that. My next quest is cast 40 spells, which I accidentally almost did all of. But I should be getting some more daily quests pretty darn soon. Let me know down below which type of decks you would like to see. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time. Hello everyone, this is HGSKaska here, back with some more daily questing action on Hearthstone. Now, the whole point of daily quest is to try and complete the daily quest in the most ridiculous and obnoxious ways that I can come up with. Now, today I did have to complete 2 wins as either Paladin or Priest, but considering that I did do Priest very recently, I did decide to go ahead and queue up and make my custom Paladin deck. Now, this is not my Stealthy Poo deck, which was a big hit. This is actually a deck which is all taunt minions. Now, this is literally a deck that every time you play it, you want to punch yourself in the face because it is so freaking bad. Now, the thing casting these games after they were played, just because the deck is so bad that if you heard me casting it live, I would just be raging so hard. I would be throwing things. I'd be very upset with my life. I'd be very upset with myself. But either way, I was going to play it out until it actually worked. It was a big waste of time, but I figured, you know what? I at least have to document my adventure and tell you kind of my thoughts about an all-taunt deck. Now, my thoughts are, number one, that's bad. My continued thoughts are, definitely don't try this at home, folks. And also, one thing I want to mention is that literally, I went ahead and put Hogger in there, but definitely do not try this at home, kids. I highly do not recommend it. And you'll kind of see as this game progresses, it is like the most boring play style ever. And, you know, I do have a little bit of shame for actually uploading this video, but at the same time, has anyone ever made an all-taunt deck before? That remains to be seen. I don't think they have. I really don't think that people have actually done that. At least I haven't seen one. He is going to go ahead and fan a knives here. I think he's trying to get out some cards. Now, I will say this deck is good against a couple different things. Or I wouldn't say good, but is passable. Rogues are one of them, because if I'm doing my math right, there is the exact amount of cards in Hearthstone to make a full taunt deck that you need. So I'm not able to fill it with any spells. I'm not able to fill it with any weapons. And the only card I have in this entire deck that is not a taunt minion itself is Hogger. And for those of you who don't know, Hogger summons 2/2 taunt minions. So that is the only card that I fit in my deck that does not directly have taunt. But seriously, I have... It was funny when I was making the deck. I was just going through, you know, I typed in the word taunt and all that. And as soon as I fill up the deck, there was one spot left for a non-taunt minion. And the thing about taunt minions is that if your entire deck is taunt minions, your entire deck is basically worse than a randomized deck. Why do I say that? Because the stat of taunt, when a card has taunt, that takes up part of the card value. And taunt is one of the worst card values in the game if you just only have taunt creatures. So it's basically like having high cost creatures that aren't doing anything because nothing is being protected by the taunt other than my face. And normally you're going to be protecting minions and all of that. So I will be absolutely honest, with this deck, I have lost probably about 90% of my games, and I'm actually